So now I'm going to be uppotting a couple of our new selections of porterweed that will be in our aerial elixirs pollinator plant series, and these are going to be called Rowdy Rufus, and they're nice big plants in 1 gallon buckets. They're getting to the point where I have to water them at least once a day, maybe twice a day, so now it's a good time to uppot them. You can see the kind of see the colors there. It's a deep red orange. I'm going to be potting these into what they call a nursery 3 gallon container, and it's about 10 inches wide and 10 inches deep. The first thing we need to do is, we've obviously got some grass we need to get rid of, a few weeds in this pot. So you can kind of grab them, be sure to get them by the roots. A little oxalis, some grass. Another thing that you can do on an annual grass like this one, if I don't want to disturb the root ball, I can go down here just below the surface with clippers or a knife and cut it off, cut that grass off, because I know it won't come back. And there's the weeds for that one. Do a little pruning just to get these little nubbies off. That one's all ready. We'll do another one. You see the weeds. Oxalis. Again, you want to get them by the roots so they don't come back. And you can pull the grass if you want. I kind of hold the dirt down and then pull it out by the base. That one's about ready. One more. My goal when I'm potting is to not disturb the roots any more than absolutely necessary. And when I'm done, I want that surface of that soil even with the top of the potting soil. Alright. We're ready to get started. Nice 3 gallon bucket, nice big holes, good drainage. Don't have to worry about things staying too wet. Start by putting a little dirt in the bottom. This is a good well-grained mix that we developed over the years. Set it in there. This is your goal line right here. That's your fill line. So I'm a little bit high. I'm going to take some dirt out. Check again. And that's pretty close. And this plant's a little bit crooked. We can straighten it up by planting it like that if we want to. Won't hurt a thing. There's a little nubbin to cut off. Make it look pretty. I want to push growth, so I'm going to use a little bit of Osmocote Triple 14 by Scott's. It's probably a tablespoon and a half. It's not going to burn the roots. So the next thing, to get the plant out of the pot, you can lightly squeeze the sides just a little bit. Hold your hand over it. And then ease the pot off. Got a nice big root system. Everything's pretty well staying together. Check that level again. It's a little bit low. Add a little bit more dirt underneath it. Take and turn it. Make sure that root ball has good contact with the soil below it. It's standing fairly straight. I will fill in enough soil so that it ends up at the surface of the root ball. I just kind of lightly open my fingers and push them down just to get rid of any big air pockets. You can shake it a little bit. I like to do that to smooth the soil out, but you can see that original soil surface level. This plant's a little bit dry, so it's a little bit lighter than the surrounding soil. Top dress it with a little more Osmocote just to help push it along. And we're ready to do the next one. One thing that we do that's a little different than some people, saw me take that tag out a while ago. I like to write it on the side of the pot, the cultivar or species or whatever it is. These are going to be Aerial Elixir's Rowdy Rufus, for the Rufus hummingbird. These white Sharpies, it can last for years actually. And put the date on it just so you know when you did it. So again, put enough soil in the bottom so it's going to be at about the right height. I just firm it. I'm not packing anything hard. We'll do this plant the same way. These are big enough and heavy enough. I can really hold my hand over it like so, turn it upside down, and just push on the bottom of the pot. Comes right out. So if you look, that one's a little bit low. We need to come up about an inch. And that's pretty close. Put a little fertilizer in there again. Potting soil has some fertilized, but porterweeds are pretty heavy feeders. I want them to grow and bloom a lot. You really don't even have to pack it down. You can just vibrate it like that if you want. There's that original soil surface. I mean, just a tiny bit more soil. Get the trash out. Another tablespoon and a half or so of Osmocote. And that one's ready to go. And a nice plate, clean place to write on. I think I spelled it wrong. That's alright. Ready to do our last one. Put some soil in the bottom. Get that smoothed out. This one is really crooked, so I can do some work to get that to straighten out. You can, once again, you can kind of squeeze the pot, but sometimes these 1 gallons, they're heavy enough on their own. Just a little encouragement, they'll come right out. This one is so crooked that I'm actually going to plant it at an angle. I want about half of my root ball to be above the soil line and as much as a half below the soil line. It'll still be okay. We can make it work. I could use a stake, but I really like the plant to strengthen its stem on its own whenever possible. Some plants are just so limber you have to use a stake. can really see that root ball sticking out now. But I need them surface, as much of those surface roots at the top as I can get. You can actually take and kind of gently work it down just a little bit there. See those surface roots? Add a little more soil. And top dress it. And that Rowdy Rufus is ready to go. I don't know if you can see that, but this writing's been on this pot for 20 years. I guarantee you. I'll get enough of it off at least so it's not confusing to people. I really need a tiny bit more stuff. Probably need the steak, to be honest. Now for the next and most important step, watering them in. So this is the most important step. My black hose has been laying out in the sun for a few hours. When I turn it on, that initial burst of water is going to be super hot. Feel of it with my hand till it cools off, just like a baby's bottle. Use hot water on a plant, it'll scald it just like it can scald you. Nice and cool now. Got a good water breaker on there, shut off valve, makes everything easy. Now I'm going to fill the pot up 3 times and let that drain through. That water breaker makes that stream of water more like a soft rain. Nice little sprouts coming out here. It's going to fill out nicely. These other ones will too. A little bit of time in the sun. That one's drained through. Maybe start again. You see a little tiny particles of soil coming out of the bottom sometimes. That's no big deal. By watering them in thoroughly, you make sure that the root ball has excellent contact with the surrounding soil. You get rid of any big air pockets. Now I'll need to wait just a minute and let some of that drain through. I set these out in the road just so you can see more clearly about how they're draining and whatnot.